Time for this.
The tag of being a little bit out there because of the social media sort of thing.
I haven't had that proper chance to understand what the rationale was.
Don't give me none of that banter, man. I'm here to talk serious football.
Good morning. The headlines. Irish shock jock Ger Gilroy has come under further fire from the Republic of South Africa due to his comments regarding the 2021 British and Irish Lions Tour. In a video entitled "South Africa are whining babies, the worst sport culture on the planet," Mr. Gilroy caused consternation in the nation with his comments. The backlash was swift. Herman van Zyl issued a swift response in the OTB YouTube comments. He said, "This Ger character is the perfect little hall monitor. What a distasteful little man." Monty the Dog, meanwhile, saw a sporting future for Mr. Gilroy. He said, "In the next Olympic Games, if the next Olympic Games has a best wee, whiny, miserable, blinkered little toe rag event, your man has it sewn up already. P.S. if he is going for a world record, to ramp up his bile, just mention Johnny Sexton or John Ryan." Meanwhile, Belson Keating came armed with a comment on nationality and his cap lock button. He said, "Bitter little leprechauns barely able to disguise their spiteful envy at the Springboks' dominance. Truly pathetic." That's Belson Keating there, Mr. Keating, commenting on leprechauns. Stein Zvigalar, known for his accurate statements, didn't stray from the facts when he said, "F you for taking a swipe at our rugby culture. Rugby is a contact sport, not Lord of the Dance, a sing-song, or St. Patrick's Day." John Stevenson then suggested that the programme looked closer to home. "Did these guys see Connor Muppet and Alan Whine Jones? SA didn't whine on the field." Mr. Gilroy's comments about the underage doping culture in South Africa rugby received a swift response from Hamlet Henneke, who said, "Doping culture? My man, over a century of rugby brilliance, rugby runs through our veins as South Africans. We eat and sleep rugby from the dusty fields at the Paulus Joubert Primary and New Orleans High in Parle to the flashy green fields of Paul Roos Gym and Grey College in Bloom. We breed them, the DNA runs strong, and that is what the Springboks represent. Diversity, our pride and glory. We can't help it that we win titles. Until you prove us wrong, you can never smoke pipe with us. Just ask the All Blacks and Wallabies about what it takes. When the Irish start winning, they can come drink tea with us. Doping. But you scoop up our players in your leagues and national teams and they dominate, get titles and get man of the matches. I guess it's from all the doping, like CJ Stander has. LOL. Sins Nyand offered a different theory for the shocking comments of this shocking jock. He said, "Lol. No wonder the views on this channel are so poor. I love the hurt talk from these mugs because I'll never forget how Ireland sabotaged South Africa's bid to host the World Cup a few years ago after it was clear South Africa were favourites to become hosts."
Wow, did we?
Apparently. Now, given the volatility of the situation, many commenters wondered what the reality of the situation was, what was really going on in the dark mind of shock jock Ger Gilroy. Psychologist Dr. Bradley Rogerson said, "This host guy is seriously bitter and twisted." Psychotherapist Professor Saul Hudson said, "He really does look like someone whose world is just crumbling to the ground. He needs help. If the Boks had lost, I would have just had another beer and then gotten on with my life." While Dirk Short, not a professor or doctor, but as respected because he is a YouTube commentator, said, "P.S. The very broad statements made by the host of this radio show about South African supporters and current and retired players is a huge insult. I have listened to this radio host's recordings a few times, and one might say that it sounds unhinged." And it's been a sad conclusion to what was an upbeat tour. A week ago, before that bitter final test, Dion Richards appeared in the YouTube stream telling us of his delightful plans for the third test. He said, "I would like to thank every member of the Springboks and British and Irish Lions team for the promotion of World Rugby. Last week, Saturday, I proudly watched the game wearing my Springbok jersey. The whole game was a highlights package for me. The passion and intensity was amazing. Yes, I know rugby experts will say it was a dirty and foul game, but to me it was as potent as poison. I felt the tackles and swore at the ref and shouted abuse at the stupid comments made by the commentary team, for example, piano front row. But after the game, I felt exhausted, knackered as my English friends would say. At one point, I wanted to lift my green and gold jersey to check for any stud marks on my back or any serious bruising to my ears. This Saturday, I will be cheering for my nation. My Netflix will take a back seat. I will give my wife my credit card to visit the Mall of Qatar. But nothing, absolutely nothing, will take me away from a mouth-watering and brutal encounter between the gladiators of rugby. Whoever is the referee, Waterboy, TMO or anthem singer, I will be glued to my television to watch this series decider." Now, of course, many OTB reporters tried to harness this positive energy, and last week positive talks emerged between a number of team members and Bobby Skinstad, as you can see on screen. However, the chirpy mood was quickly dispelled after the public comments made by YouTube user David Lawler. He released a statement saying, "The only thing wrong with this is talking to these awful frauds of presenters. South Africa are world champions. Bobby, hang up on these clowns." The moment topped off a bad news week for both Nathan Murphy and for Owen Sheehan. Firstly, OTB head of content Nathan Murphy tweeted his jubilation in response to the Mayo County hurling team winning the Nicky Rackard Cup in Croke Park, saying, "Mayo winning a lot of trophies in Croke Park these days, no need to at me." However, this jubilation was swiftly destroyed after the arrival of truth bombs on the scene. He replied to OTB's head of content saying, "You truly are the dickhead of content." Owen Sheehan, meanwhile, received a memo from @Coldspin not long after the bank holiday weekend, saying, "Owen Sheehan, oi rusty balls, can you get off the rugby commentary? It's ruining us for us. Now go fuck yourself. Thumbs up." Those are the headlines for this week. Thank you for joining us.
The tag of being a little bit out there because of the social media sort of thing.
I haven't had that proper chance to understand what the rationale was.
Don't give me none of that banter, man. I'm here to talk serious football.
Right, 4 minutes past 8, time for us. There's some more, isn't there? Actually, sorry, I always forget about these ones, the extra ones. Right, there were some late additions to this, and I've just deleted them. That wasn't very clever of me, was it?
Do I have an email including them somewhere? Oh, there's a lot of stuff on Lionel Messi. We had Graham Hunter on with us a couple of times last week after the Lionel Messi saga almost reached its conclusion. Rachel in our comments said, "Messi is a victim. I've heard it all now. On what planet is Leo Messi a victim?" And this has certainly been one of the common threads over the last couple of days about people feeling sorry for Lionel Messi.
The disrespect to how good a fully fit Liverpool squad is ridiculous. 1-10 on the bounce to finish third with half a squad last season. When the season, I guess that the end of the season was pretty good and they started to recapture some of their form, and Nathan was at pains to point out that Trent was Liverpool's best player over the last 6 or 7 games last season, when there was never any doubt that he was going to be part of Gareth Southgate's squad. So I don't know.
Yeah, that was in response to our crystal ball discussion, where Liverpool have clearly been shown a lot of disrespect and not really been brought into the title conversation a lot. And it's an interesting one. I definitely felt it at the end of last season that this was a team that were ready to bounce back and actually have a right crack at it this year. And maybe the whole conversation around Jurgen Klopp and will he, won't he be Liverpool manager this time next year actually strengthens Liverpool's case, because if this is last season, there is like one last burst of energy from him in the dressing room on the sideline, and the players know it, and a couple of the players who may be edging towards their post-peak playing days are also in that state of that mindset as well. So I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever to see them go all the way for sure. So maybe there was a bit of disrespect towards them just because we tipped Chelsea and Manchester City mostly yesterday, but Liverpool, I think everybody is for sure have an outside shot. Yeah, well, I was Sadio Mane and Roberto Firmino's form so good last season that you could say that they're back to the level that they were at when they were winning the league? I don't think it was. That's the issue, that everything has to go right for Liverpool from early in the season to the end of the season for them to be able to beat the depth that Manchester City have and the depth that Chelsea have as well. So let's wait and see. Eamon De Valera says, "I'd love a Mayo Tyrone final." Be a novel. Been a while since we heard from you, Dev. 7 minutes past 8 this morning here. If you want to get in touch, do please. 087 9 180 180 is the WhatsApp number.